Hello and welcome. I'm Julie Von Bergen, math professor here at Los Medanos College. In this video, we will create Canvas rubrics. I will share how to create and incorporate a rubric in Canvas for grading discussions, as well as rubrics for grading assignments and projects. Our video outcomes. At the end of viewing this presentation, you will be able to construct a rubric in Canvas for grading discussions, construct a rubric in Canvas for grading assignments and projects, and copy a rubric from another Canvas course. Let's head into my Canvas dashboard. We're going to scroll down and select one of my statistics courses. In this course, I recently added a discussion. So we're going to go to Chapter 4 Modules. And in the Reflections on Success discussion, I want to add a rubric. In this discussion, students are broken up into 4 groups, and they are reflecting on what it takes to succeed, and they're watching some videos from Michael Jordan and then giving an example of a success in your own life. So up here on the right of the top bar, there are 3 dots. Click here and we're going to add a rubric. I'm going to call this Reflections on Success rubric. And then I have a Word document with a pre-existing rubric I use in statistics. So I'm going to use part of this rubric, but not all. So the first part is linked to the initial post. So I am going to use this criteria, and this is going to be 3 points. So the initial post is on time, complete, and shows a good understanding of concepts. So I am going to edit the existing criteria and call this initial post. Update that criteria, and then this is worth 3 points. Notice now it's shifted, so I changed it from 5 points to 3 points. It's shifted to 3 points for what they're calling full marks and 0 points for no marks. I'm going to click here to edit that. Full marks, I'm going to call this good job, and then paste in my description. Your initial post is on time, complete, and shows a good understanding of concepts. Now I want to add in the feedback for 2 points and 1 point. So I head in here, 2 points is called nearly there, and I copy my criteria. So I click on the plus here, and then I'm going to call this nearly there, and paste in the discussion, or the feedback about the discussion. So your initial post is on time, but it may be incomplete or may not include enough detail to demonstrate good understanding. I'm going to update that rating. 1 point is known as late but on track. And we'll paste our description in here. And then 0 points is already in here, so I'm just going to edit that. I don't have to add it in. And that's called You Can Do Better. It's a bit more encouraging than saying no marks, and paste in our description. All right, the next criteria that I usually use in a feedback is about corrections. In this case, I'm not asking students to do corrections. So I'm going to give them 3 points for giving feedback to their classmates. So right now, feedback is just 0 or 1 points. So we're going to have good job. And so I'm going to add this criterion. This criterion is going to be new criterion, not duplicate of the previous criterion. This is called feedback. And then I'm going to make this worth 4 points. So notice after I change it to 4 points, this switches to 4 points. And then this is going to be known as good job. And my description is here. Now I want to do a range. Instead of having 3, 2, 1, and 0 points here, I'm going to click range. And so I'm going to edit this range to be 4 to 1 point and update my rating. And then I'm going to have 1 to 0 points. And that's going to be the You Can Do Better. And so this says it was possible to provide feedback, I'm going to say, to 2 classmates, but you did not, and update that rating. So with the range, what happens is when I'm grading the rubric, if I click on the good job, that does a scale from 4 to 1. By default, it'll go to the 4, but say I want to bump it down to be a 2 or a 3, I can do that. I'm going to actually change my range here. So I'm going to edit this range to maybe just make it 4 and 3 points and update the rating. And then see how this would be 3 or 0. Maybe I want to make this 2 points greater than. So somebody getting 4 or 3 points would be in the good job, and somebody getting 2, 1, or 0 points would be in the you could do better. All right, so now I'm up to 7 points total. So my last criteria here is going to be linked to high quality feedback, and I'm going to make this worth 3 points instead of 4 points for this rubric. So I'm going to add a criteria, choose new criterion. This is called high quality feedback. And then I don't want this to be worth 12 points total. I want a 10-point total, so I'm going to adjust this. Now, say I wanted to adjust my feedback criteria. Maybe I'll adjust my feedback to be 3 instead of 4, and then I'll switch high quality feedback to be worth 4, and so now I'm back up to a 10-point total. So here in this rubric, I have criteria just for 4, 2, and 0. So I'm going to select range here. And it's going to be 4 points to more than 2 points, and this is going to be called good job. So this will be students that get 3s or 4s. And I put in my rating description. And then I'm going to add another range for the students who got 2 or 1 point. Nearly there. So this is going to go greater than 0, but more than 2, so this is nearly there. And then I paste in my description. So this is when you gave feedback, only some of your feedback was high quality. And then 0 points is if they're missing feedback. So this criteria is you can do better. And so we've got 10 points total. I'm going to go ahead and create my rubric. There are different options here. You can remove points. You can use this for assignment grading or hide the total. I'm going to leave it as is and create the rubric. So now when students view the discussion assignment, they will also see the rubric. Now I want to show you how I create a rubric for an assignment. So if we go into assignments here, the chapter 4 assignment, students are now going to be submitting online. Our earlier assignments were submitted on paper. So I'm going to click here and add rubrics down at the bottom. So it's kind of funny. In discussions, you add a rubric up here at the 3 dots, but in an assignment, you click plus rubric down at the bottom. And the setup's the same. Now for this rubric, I just have 1 criteria. So I'm just going to have 1 row, and the criteria is going to be the learning objectives for chapter 4, and then they're going to have a range of 10 through 6. Let's see, I'm going to edit the existing criteria. They're called learning objectives for chapter 4, and I need to give my rubric a name. So I'm going to call it the lab assignment rubric. And then I'm going to make this one worth 10 points. And then I'm going to edit what full marks is. That's what I'm going to call perfect, and paste in my criteria. And then I need to add one for 9 points. So this is excellent. And paste in my criteria. and so on. So you can see how this one will work. And I'm just going to go ahead and create this rubric. And I'm going to go back and add in points all the way down to 6 points. My last category is going to be from 6 to 0, a range. I want to show you a completed rubric. So in my statistics class project report, I have a rubric already created that I want to use in this class. So you can see I have 4 parts to my criteria. This is for the project students submit at the end of the semester. It's 100 points total. I've got a range of points. And so I want to import this so that I don't have to recopy it in for this class. So I'm going to go to my assignments here and head down to my project report assignment. And so I want to add the rubric here. So see how it says find a rubric? Click over here and you can pull rubrics from any of your other courses. So these are in my hybrid statistics curriculum, and I'm looking for the classes from this semester. I have to scroll down. Oh, they're not showing up because I don't think I have any in here. Oh, here it is. Here's the class this semester. And then I want to pull in the final project rubric. So here it is. And I'm going to say use this rubric. And then it has imported. And it's in here for me for this class. I want to show you what this rubric looks like when grading. So over here in this class where the rubric already existed, I went ahead and had test students submit a project report to show you. So you can see it shows up over here on my to-do list. This assignment's not due until May 15th, but the test student submitted early. So we can go ahead and click on Grade Project Report. And here is test student's submission. So test student has written up their project in here. They upload it as a doc file, and I can scroll through and see their project report. And then I click View Rubric. And so you can adjust the screen so that you can see more of the rubric and less of the project. You can also download the projects, but I like to do it in a split screen. And then I think for the data summary, the test student did a pretty good job, but they missed some details here. So instead of 10 points, I'm going to change this down to a 9, and then down in the comments, I'm going to say, hi test student, you neglected to include an explanation of the bias for your categorical data. Or some sort of feedback. And then say I think they just did a good or a fair job on the exploratory data analysis. This is 35 to 25 points. When I click in here, it puts a 35 in there by default, the top end of the spectrum, but we could bump this down to 30 and then explain in our feedback why, which specific graphs were left out. So notice as we're clicking on the rubric, there's a running total down here, so they've got 39 points out of 100. When you save the rubric, it saves that grade for the student, and then it fills in the value under the grade part when you're doing the grading in the speed grader with the rubric.